Hello everyone, welcome back, and today I'm going to start a playthrough of Grand Pool World 2. This is some of you may already know, some of you may not, it's a ROM hack. Mario World has lots of ROM hacks. There's a pretty big community around this game. Basically a ROM hack is like, you take the base game, Super Mario World, and you like make your own levels. You can even add your own music and stuff, so you can like really make like a standalone game that in theory it could look nothing like Super Mario World, but it still is Super Mario. It's still the game Super Mario World, but different levels, different music. You can even change the amount of levels. You can even add different enemies. You have to like be good at programming to do that. This is a Kaiser hack, which means it's pretty difficult. In a Kaiser hack, it's very tight platforming. Every power-up you get, you have to use to progress through the level. Otherwise, with that power-up, you cannot. So you don't get a power-up. So you can make like a mistake somewhere. That's not like, mistakes are not allowed in Kaiser hacks. That's what makes it so difficult. Anyway, so as you can see, I already have 6 exits. I have already done 6 levels. However, I'm gonna start a new playthrough. So this means the first 6 levels I'm gonna play, or the first 5, because I did 1 secret exit, I have already beaten. I have already done, but I'm gonna do them again, and it's gonna take me a little while anyway, because just because I beat them doesn't mean I like mastered the level. I'm still gonna die everywhere. It's a super difficult hack. I would not recommend playing this if you're not that familiar with Mario or Mario World, because you do need to know some advanced stuff like mechanics and stuff in this game, and Super Mario World in general. I myself, I'm still pretty new to Kaiser hacks. I just got a PlayStation 4 controller, as you can see on screen. It shows the inputs, and I'm gonna run a timer because I'm gonna do a lot of cuts in this video, because obviously I am going to die everywhere. So I can't like have uncut footage, and the timer basically shows like between every cut how much time has passed, so you get like more of context. This is not a speed run. The timer is purely just for the cuts I'm going to be editing, so you can see how much time has passed between every cut, so you can see how long it takes me to beat the level. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna start a marathon. I'm gonna start the timer, and let's go. Alright, first level. So, as you can see, tight platforming. The first level doesn't always have to be the easiest level in these ROM hacks. It usually isn't. The first level is usually pretty difficult. So yeah, I'm just gonna play through this. You're gonna see that there's gonna be lots of trolls as well. That's just tradition in Kaiser hacks. You may probably know Kaiser World, like the first Kaiser Mario game. There's lots of trolls in that. Alright, so let's see. Okay, we got the checkpoint there already. That was quick. But yeah, these Kaiser ROM hacks, they're usually like named after a person. So the first, like the original Kaiser Mario, which was made like, I think it was 2006 or something. It was made by a Japanese guy, and he made it for a friend. It was like a troll hack. It's very popular. If you look it up, maybe you'll recognize it. The first level is like one of the most famous Kaiser levels out there. It's the first Kaiser hack ever made, and that's where it all started. So basically the tradition continues, right? Like, you make a ROM hack, you make your own levels and stuff like this, and you name it after like someone, like a friend or something. And this hack is called Grand Pool World. This hack was made by Barbarous King, and he made it he named it after Grand Pooh Bear, which is another Mario streamer. They stream Mario Maker and ROM hacks and stuff. They also play other games sometimes, but mainly Mario. I almost finished the level already. I almost, but yeah, I've already beaten this level a few times, but as you can see, it's still difficult. It's a difficult level. Every level in this game is super hard. If you want to play this, I'd recommend you start off with something easier. There's a few easier kinds of hacks like Quickie World 1 and 2. However, they do have shell jumps in them, which for beginners is really tough. For me, like, I'm not like super new, but I'm still kind of a noob at this. So even for me, the Quickie Worlds are a bit of a challenge, to say the least. But there's also non-Kaiser hacks. Like, you go to Super Mario World's SMW Central.net. I will link it in the description, and there's a ton of ROM hacks out there. You can make your own ROM hacks with a software called Lunar Magic if you want to. It's not super easy, but there are videos out there. Actually, the guy who made this game actually made a live stream like 2 years ago where he showed off all the basic stuff in Lunar Magic. So I'd recommend watching that if you want to make your own ROM hack. But before you do that, I recommend you play a lot of ROM hacks yourself, because you get a lot of inspiration. You get a feel of what a good and what a bad ROM hack is. Yeah. And you know, this game is really good, and the reason for that, you know, the guy who made this, he himself has played a lot of ROM hacks, and he knows, like, okay, he knows how to make a hack like hard, but not like impossibly hard, you know. So yeah, I mean, this is free to do. Like, you can play this on emulator on PC, which is the easiest way. I'm playing on SNES 9X. I mean, most of you probably have a PlayStation controller, like a PlayStation 4 controller or PlayStation 3 controller laying around somewhere. Just hook it up to the PC and play it. For controllers, I recommend. Well, I'm playing PS4 right now, which is really good. It's better than I thought it would be. Honestly, really, the controller doesn't matter as long as you're not using the Xbox controller, because the D-pad on that controller is horrible. And please don't bind your movement buttons to the joystick. That does not work. Other than that, I mean, there's a ton of controllers you can use, but don't buy like a cheap, like $10 controller off of internet, because I've done that and that breaks after a while, and it's just the D-pad sucks, and you get like ghost presses. Like, what I mean with that is, if you press right and it also presses up sometimes, for example, that can happen. That's called a ghost press, and with cheaper controllers you have that pretty often. So yeah, don't cheap out on those. See, yeah, so alright, to beat the level. Enough, that's one of the trolls. So with Kaiser hacks, at the very end of a level, there's almost always a troll, and which means you probably die at the end of it. And because these levels are so difficult, dying at the very end sucks. It really does. And alright, so I did that. Let's see, I'm not gonna pause the timer. Let's do laser lifts. Let's do it. I already beat these 2 levels anyway. Let's do 2 levels in this first episode, but once I get to the levels I've never played before, I will only be doing 1 level an episode, because they will simply take me way too long to beat. Yeah, here's a shell jump. Ugh. Oh my god, did I just do that first try? Yo, I can't believe I did that first try. That is hard, by the way. That is a hard level. I just did that first try somehow, but like I said, I already beat these levels. Dude, I'm on a roll right now, dude. Like, the first time I played these levels, the first level as well, it took me like an hour and a half to complete it one time, and that was, but I played on keyboard because I didn't have the PS4 controller yet. But these levels are hard, man. But if you have watched like speedruns of this game, you really don't get a feel for how hard these levels really are, because the people who speedrun this are super good at Mario. They play lots of super hard ROM hacks, and if you really want to get like an idea of how difficult this really is, I recommend you play this yourself and try it. I do want to say that if you're new to Mario World, don't don't blame yourself too much for failing, because this is really hard. You really need to build up muscle memory for like shell jumps and stuff, the timings. Like that, that's a different kind of shell jumps. There's also a hack called Learn to Kaizo by a guy called Nexus, and you can look it up. By the way, to get a ROM working on an emulator, you can also play this on like an original SNES, but like you need like tools for it. You need to buy like lots of tools for that and stuff. It's like a lot of hassle. I'd recommend you play on, unless you want to play on original hardware. You can also just get if you have a SNES controller, you can buy an adapter online. You can use the original SNES controller, which is what a lot of people do, which is probably the best way to play these ROM hacks, is to get an original SNES controller and get an adapter. But a lot of people, me included, I mean, I have an original SNES controller, but it's pretty broken, it's super old, it's like worn out, the D-pad and all the buttons are super mushy and they don't really press down very well. But playing with a PS4 is just probably the second best way. There's also a brand called 8-Bit though, and I think the D-pad on that wears out pretty quickly, so I don't think I'd recommend that. I think on the Barb stream, I think he said that 8-Bit was kind of bad, and I am definitely willing to believe that, because it's not an official controller, you know, and you know, D-pads, like even Nintendo themselves mess up the D-pad pretty frequently. Almost. But yeah, on the Wii U Pro Controller, on the Switch Pro Controller, I've heard bad things about that D-pad. Now, I'm not doing too many cuts right now because I'm like super quick right here, dude. I already beat the first level. I can't believe I'm already done with that. I was on a roll right there. And I'm already at the checkpoint on this level, so I will be doing cuts soon, because this half is pretty hard. Yeah, what I'm saying is the D-pad is super important for this, especially if you're playing Kaizo. Because of shell jumps and stuff, you really want to press like certain directions, and you don't want to like ghost presses, because that will mess you up completely. There you go, that's how you do that. This is a hard jump. Yeah, that is a really tough jump there. That's the last jump of the level, by the way. Oh, so close, dude. I think I had that actually. I just messed up like the very end of it. There we go, there it is. That's how you beat the level. If you fall down, like to the right, you can still get back up. It's hard to explain because you don't see it anymore. Because I went past, I should have shown it. But if you go down, where the coin trail is, there's actually a ledge to the right, down there. If you try to jump back up to the left, there's a Kaiser block. So if you hit that, you will fall all the way down and you will die. So that's another troll. As you may have noticed, there was no like super troll at the end of the level, at the very end when I went in the pipe. He doesn't put like a troll at the end of every single level. There's a troll at a lot of levels, but not every single one of them. Let's do Riptide Slide. Let's go. Let's go. Alright. So this level was the bane of my existence for the longest time. This level is super hard for me. There's the popular fish gate in this level, which we will see later. People who play Grand Prix 2 know, and who watch Grand Prix 2 know about the fish gate. This is super hard. Like, I mean, if you know the setup to get past, it's not too bad. Alright, and that dolphin doesn't always spawn on time for me. Yeah. So here, as you may notice, I'm going to the right, but I'm not holding anything on the D-pad, as you can see on the display. Now I am, but at the start, I am not doing that. There's this thing called, like, preserving your momentum in this game. Wait. I almost had it. But yeah, it's right here. When you slide and you jump, if you don't hold the D-pad, you neutral the D-pad and you jump off of, like, surfaces immediately, you will hold your momentum. That's what I'm doing. So if you press like any direction, you will lose that momentum. Whether that was intended by Nintendo or not, I don't know, but it's a mechanic you use right here as well. I messed up. So yeah, pretty cool concept. It's hard though. Like, yeah, right there, I didn't time it very well. You have to like time it pretty well. You have to jump like almost immediately. There we go. I should have also explained this. There's this thing called a regrab in this game. It's a mechanic that you learn, that you have to learn if you play Kaiser hacks. Basically, if you hold jump, Mario will fall slower than if you like jump. Like if you jump up and he falls down, if you hold jump, he will fall slower than if you don't hold jump. And that is something you want to like balance out in certain jumps. You want to find like a balance in some jumps between doing it and not doing it. It's hard to explain what for me, but that's basically what it comes down to. But yeah, anyway, if you don't understand it, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. But for those of you interested in like the mechanics of Super Mario World. Almost. Yeah, that was the very end of the first part. There we go, there's a fish there, and there's Bullet Bills. Like, he wanted to add so many trolls there. Yeah, the first time you play this and you don't know about that, you will die there. So that is, that's another troll. That's pretty rough because this is the second half of the level. So we got the midway. The checkpoints are called midways in this level. So yeah, now I'm on the water again. I am like sometimes I'm neutering the D-pad. That's also to keep my momentum because the water has a current and it's pushing Mario to the right. And here's the fish gate. Alright. We got past the first try now. I almost beat that level right there. I almost beat it there. But yeah, the fish gate. I did that first try, the fish gate, but I'm gonna fail there. I'm gonna die there a few times before I beat this level for sure. Like it's hard. Yeah, this first part is all muscle memory. You gotta like time your. If you hold down while swimming, Mario will like swim in place. Like he won't go up much if you press the jump button. And if you don't hold down, he will like swim a bit further up when you press jump. That's also something you gotta like learn to balance. Like if you watch my controller display in this part, you can see I'm holding down here, and I'm like letting go for a little bit there, so I can let Mario go up a little bit. But here I'm gonna hold down again because I don't want to fly into the munchers, so obviously. Also vertical pipes like that, like going up vertical pipes is pretty tough in this game. It's pretty rough. You gotta go like exactly in the middle of the pipe, otherwise you won't go up in the pipe. So. One more thing, Mario's hitbox is kind of weird. So Mario's head doesn't really have a hitbox for sprites, as far as I know, for like enemies and stuff. But like for like objects and stuff, he does. Like Mario's head does count as a hitbox, I guess. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, Mario would have some weird quirks like that, but it makes for some cool level design and sometimes as well some ROM hacks, like this one for example. I gotta jump earlier there. That is, yeah, I just gotta go earlier. It's almost the end of the level, by the way. There we go. That's it. That's it for Rip Pet Slide. There's no troll here, so we're good. Alright, I think I'm gonna leave it here for this episode. I did not think I was gonna do 3 levels today, but I was actually gonna do only 1 level of this game. Like the first level per episode, like 1 level per episode. Also, fun fact, that in the bottom right, that is from, that's the overworld from Grand Pool World 1. So yeah, the Grand Pool 1 was made in, I think it was 2017. This game was made in February of 2000. It was like released in February of 2019. Obviously, it takes like really long to make games like this. But thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode probably. So yeah, see ya.